What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scotty, how was the weekend, man?
Such a flash, but I got to play some Battlefield. It's been a while. It felt pretty good.
Nice. Dude, we had a long weekend here. So, yeah, it's been a little bit of relaxing and getting a couple things done around here. Went fishing this morning. It was cool. Good day.
Yeah,
good
that's
day.
fun.
Yeah, man. We actually caught something. That's the best part about it, right? Didn't go home empty-handed, so.
Yeah.
For sure. Dude, we got a good show, though. We got lined up here. You ready for this one? Because Bethesda receives backlash from Sony fans about Starfield being an Xbox exclusive.
Oh.
Yep, and
yeah,
it begins.
That hurts.
It sure does. Next-gen console shortages could last as long as 2023. Dude, that's 2 years out. Ouch.
And it's already been a problem for a year plus. So
absolutely.
How long can that go? Oh,
yep. And yes, Scott, Horizon Forbidden West will be a free upgrade from PS4 to PS5, as previously stated. We will get into that because there's a lot to get into, because I covered this article on this week's episode, which is now outdated because of this whole update. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, that one caused quite a stir, but
oh yeah, and I think they flipped around because of a couple of reasons. Then we'll talk about it. Well, let's get going here. Bethesda and Microsoft respond to Starfield on PS5 questions. Dude, my thing's going all screwy today. Let's get into this here. Microsoft acquisitions of Bethesda has ruffled some feathers because it means that at least some of the studio's games will now be coming Xbox properties. We kind of expected this, though, Scott. Let's be honest.
yeah, we've been talking about this one. Are they going to try and pull certain games away?
Yeah.
What?
That's just it, right? Leaving the PlayStation behind, of course. But Bethesda's Pete Hines and Xbox Aaron Greenberg discussed this as part of Gamescom recently. And Hines started off by saying that he doesn't actually have a good answer for PlayStation fans who are upset by the news. In the wake of Starfield being announced as an Xbox exclusive, Hines also acknowledged that, quote, I don't know if I would go as far as to say you're done ever playing stuff on PlayStation, quote. Hines went on to point out that Bethesda fans on PlayStation consoles might not be shut out entirely from playing future titles from the studio, though it seems clear Xbox is getting preferential treatment, as would you be expected, Scott? Of course you'd expect this, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's kind of what came along with the purchase. That's the whole point of the acquisition at the end of the day. But if these Sony fans are so hurt, how about you share Spider-Man?
You're being hopeful. That's what that is. There's more here, though. There are Xbox brands that do exist on other platforms. First and foremost, I think that it's important to note Minecraft. Dude, of course, Minecraft is everywhere. Didn't just stop existing on anything once Mojang was bought by Xbox, Hines said. It's a massively played game on all of these other platforms. It's not a sorry you're never going to get to play anything by Bethesda again. Certainly, there are going to be things that you're not going to be able to play on PlayStation. Dude, that's just the reality of this $7.5 billion purchase. Like,
yeah, well, I think that's what he means by I don't have a good answer for these fans, because the answer is just not something that anybody's going to want to hear. It's
no, absolutely
just
not.
The nature of the business. I see further down, there's mention of Deathloop. That's another one. Are they going to put that into Xbox now just because of the acquisition? Like, how much do you want to push on this? Because it seems like Sony has a lot to lose at the moment.
Well, absolutely, right? Starfield, it was announced as a thing that's an Xbox exclusive, he said. I don't know if I would go, we already covered that part. I don't know why it's repeating itself in the article. But Bethesda's next game, Deathloop, remains as an exclusive on PS5. Dude, I think that is a timed exclusive, and they're just not announcing that right now because PlayStation wants to hold on to that as an exclusive, right? I think we'll get it later, probably a year, maybe a year and a half out. You will see that as an Xbox game and on Game Pass, because that's what Xbox does now. Anything that is first party goes right into the whole Game Pass library. So I think that's what we're going to see. And PlayStation is holding on to Deathloop right now because they don't have a lot for this fall.
Oh, there's a bigger question mark that comes out of this story too, which is Elder Scrolls 6.
Ah, dude, that's got to be exclusive. Like
If they
seriously.
hold that exclusive, like that is some huge moves there.
Well, so it's honestly, okay, let me ask you that. Do you think it will be exclusive or will they gonna let it go to PlayStation?
It's such a huge property that I
Yep.
want to think that it's just not going to go into a smaller market, but at the same time, Microsoft could exactly do it for the benefits that come along with that. You want this game while you have to get a series console, whatever the
Uh,
Xbox equivalent is.
well, yeah, whether or not you're getting an Xbox or you're just getting Game Pass or whatever, right? They want you
Mhm.
into their ecosystem. And I think that's the best way to do it. That's why they did it with Starfield. Let's be honest, right? Like they bought
Yeah.
Bethesda. Why do you buy companies? Because you want their IPs and you want to make money off
Oh,
of their IPs. And they're going to make huge money, dude. If you keep it on Xbox, you're now going to pull fans from PlayStation. Let's be honest. I know
well,
people
that's
who played it on PlayStation and didn't want to go anywhere else, but then all of a sudden you lose a game of this kind of value, right? Let's be honest. This is a huge title. All of a sudden you're going to keep it over for Microsoft and Xbox fans only? Man, that hurts.
yeah. No, that's a big deal. But Xbox knows this strategy well. It's quite arguably the reason Xbox exists. They came out, had Halo on the platform. Halo
Yep.
sold the first Xbox. Fable just absolutely spread it across the world. And so if Xbox repeats a move like that, I think they're going to have some confidence about it for sure.
So, okay, we're getting Starfield next year, right? That's when that's dropping. The year after or the year after that, you think we'll see the next Elder Scrolls?
I think it'll still be 2 years on after that.
So they fill a void then with Fable first and Perfect Dark?
Oh, possibly.
All
But
right.
just as far as Bethesda is putting things out, the Elder Scrolls is going to take a long time to create. And I'm not sure
Yeah.
if they have those projects moving now or if they're just trying to port Skyrim to another console.
Oh man, coming over to Stadia soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Let's get into some next gen console issues. This one really kind of sucks, Scott. Current generation console shortages may last until 2023. Ouch. Toshiba says production on PS5 and Xbox units may struggle due to scarcity of materials. Dude, it comes down to the fact that they say that the chips will remain very tight until at least September next year. Here's the problem, dude, that chip, what a fumble moving forward with that chip for all these next gen consoles. You can't get them out the door fast enough now. And now being
No.
short, nobody can even find one.
No, it's been happening across a bunch of industries as well. I know there's some vehicle manufacturing that's being held up,
Absolutely.
and it's just kind of all across the world. I think it's just an unfortunate time for a new wave of consoles, a new generation to crest. In the middle of the pandemic, this is one of the drawbacks for sure.
Absolutely. According to Bloomberg, the company Toshiba plans to invest 545 million into supporting the production of semiconductors over the next 3 years. Toshiba may also consider building another factory to accommodate demand. Dude, there's a huge demand right now. So the more that they can
Yeah.
pump out, the more money they can make. But that's going to come at a cost of a whole other factory production. Dude, that's a massive move. How long do you think that semiconductor shortage is going to last? And all of a sudden, everybody gets caught up, and then what? We move on. By the time we get caught up, dude, we're already talking like next generation of consoles, and what are they going to do to upgrade those?
Yeah, I don't think there'll ever be a shortage of the need for semiconductor, but this is definitely a wave, a
Yeah,
very specific wave.
absolutely. Basically, right now, if you have a next gen console, be very thankful because you're not going to find one. It. Just comes down to you cannot get one anywhere else right now, and that
Well,
sucks.
unless you want a Series X console, and then you can talk to me.
Well, so how far ahead do you think we would be then if there was no shortage, Scott, in the console race? Do you think PlayStation would have really blown past Xbox, or do you think there would have been neck and neck? Because we've seen PlayStation boost how many they've sold over this pandemic scarcity of this conductor, and yet they're still climbing, right? PlayStation is still booming, and you see Xbox just kind of keeping it quiet and doing their own thing, but yet they do have good numbers.
There's almost the same effect that Nintendo seems to calculate, which is just like a planned scarcity. This I don't believe is planned, but they're still benefiting from that effect. If there's only so many out there, there's a huge hype surrounding it. The 5 that drop into your local Walmart are gone way faster than would have normally been, but that kind of makes sense. I think they would have sold a lot more though, because just because it's a pandemic, there is a huge wave of people hunkered down, want the next console, and
absolutely
everybody missed out on that one, Xbox included. Just the sales could have been much larger.
Could have been huge, man. Absolutely. And let's get into what's going on in the world of Horizon Forbidden West. Will now have a free upgrade between the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 versions. This was announced last week, Scott, that was not even a thing. That they said it was not happening, and all of a sudden now they've reversed it. 2 days after announcing there would be no upgrade. 2 days, dude. It took 2 days. There would be no upgrade between the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 versions of Horizon Forbidden West. Sony is changing course and will now offer an upgrade for free. The announcement was made on PlayStation blog by who other than Jim Ryan, the president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment. In the statement, Jim Ryan says, Thursday was to be a celebration of Horizon Forbidden West and the amazing team at Guerrilla working to deliver it on February 18th, 2022. However, it's abundantly clear that the offerings were confirmed in a pre-order kickoff missed the mark. No kidding. Right? Like, that's on, man. Like, they just seem to be, it's funny. 1 minute PlayStation is like charging ahead, and then they hit like a stumble in the road, and then they back up a little bit, right? And then they got to backtrack to pull themselves out.
They keep stepping on rakes.
That's right in the face. The change comes after PlayStation's fans highlighted comments Ryan made that the upgrade path between PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 would be free. In a
you can't say something like that and then take it back. Not
in this day and age, man.
No.
In an interview in 2020 with the Washington Post, Ryan said that Sony has an upgrade path for PlayStation 4 users to get the PlayStation 5 version for free. And it's about people having choice. Dude, then they took that choice away. That's the problem. It was gone. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense when you stated that you're going to be giving us the game for upgrade for free.
Do you think he misspoke the first time? Do you think that was just not correct? And then
now it's biting him?
Yeah, because that's a pretty heavy mistake to make. I wouldn't make any statement like that without knowing for sure, having seen it in writing or something. It's just
anything is possible, right? He could have slipped up. That's a good idea, Scott. That's a good thought. I never really put that into the forefront, that maybe he did just kind of mislead his words in the wrong choice and then kind of had to then backpedal. But then what do they think? They're going to release more updates on the game and try to just brush it under the carpet without anybody noticing? Like, that doesn't happen, man. Not at all.
No, nobody's going to forget that, especially if there's video evidence of it.
Absolutely. Horizon Forbidden West will likely be one of the last games to have the free upgrade option. In the same PlayStation blog post, Ryan says that moving forward, PlayStation first-party exclusives, cross-gen titles newly announced on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, both digital and physical, will offer a $10 digital upgrade option. Really?
Oh, so not quite free, but is that some encouragement to get the PlayStation 5 or
that you can't find? Like,
counterproductive, yeah.
Right, that's the other side of it. You can't find it anywhere. So you're making me when I talked about this, they said that they weren't doing this, okay? You could not upgrade for free. In fact, you would have to repurchase the entire game, Scott, at $80. So you bought it first on PS4 because you don't have a PS5. Maybe you don't have the funds. Maybe you can't find one. Maybe this, that, and the other, right? All of a sudden now you find that console, you have the money, you purchase that money, and then they go, no, you have to then rebuy the game. That sucks. And now he's backpedaled, right? Jim Ryan has now then since backpedaled and said, no, you can upgrade for free. which is the right move. But this is, like they say in the article, probably the last time we will see this. They initially announced it as all launch titles for the PlayStation 5 will become as a free upgrade. Now that we're out of this launch window, we're getting into new games in a later date that they now want to charge us $10 to upgrade. Yet, well, we got smart delivery from Xbox, Scott. Dude, it's smart delivery is incredible. It is so simple, and yet when I go over to my PlayStation and I move, say, my Marvel's Avengers file from PS4 to PS5, what a cumbersome flipping chore that took to me, and then I ended up losing some of my freaking game. Man, I was so mad, Scott.
There's some things that Xbox seems to get in relation to like pleasing the customer fan base.
Yes.
Just a little bit better than I've seen Sony do. And
Absolutely.
I'm sure there's other things that go to the contrary, but hey, how about recording gameplay on a PlayStation? I've heard of that being such a headache. And
actually, it's not bad at all now. They've changed that since they've upgraded, Scott.
Oh, good.
It's super simple. Dude, you can either record right from the minute you start playing. You can record 15 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or an hour. Like, dude, they have options. When it comes to recording and gameplay, they're actually better right now than Xbox.
Oh, okay.
I'm just calling it how I see it. That's how it goes, man. They're actually easier to get your captured footage on there at a longer rate, right? Right now, over on Xbox, you're doing any highlighted clips, then you're maybe 30 seconds to 2 minutes at the most.
Yeah, and 2 minutes is not usually enough. Not for things that we do with the footage.
That's just it, right? Sometimes we take advantage of this system and we'll use it for our own benefits to record footage for the show. There's a little inside baseball for everybody who's watching. And that's how that kind of works, right? But sometimes we'll just use other systems and record the footage we need. But if you're going to if you're going to do a Let's Play, as an example, and you want to record an hour on Xbox, you can't do that. It's just not how it's going to work, right? They give you whatever.
Yeah.
And then if you want to record 5 minutes on Xbox, then you have to downgrade to 720, which just doesn't make any sense. So I'm waiting for the day that Xbox catches up to PlayStation for it, because PlayStation moved it a lot easier. In previous years on PS4, you would actually get black screen on PlayStation captured stuff because the developers wouldn't want you to spoil certain segments of the game, right?
That's part of the headaches that I remember hearing about.
Yeah, but they've since shifted away. But who else has shifted, Scott, is the Mass Effect 5 development reportedly won't begin until full 2023. Man, what is it with 2023 today? There's a lot going on. Oh, that's unfortunate, man. Mass Effect 5 could be developed in Unreal Engine 5. Maybe this is why they're holding off, right? But development on the game is reportedly not set to start in full until 2023. A new EA job listing via VentureBeat says that BioWare is looking for a technical director for Mass Effect 5 who has experience in Unreal Engine 4 Plus, suggesting the studio is considering utilizing the new engine for its upcoming project. The first 3 Mass Effect games were built in Unreal Engine, but after BioWare acquisition by EA, the studio moved to the Frostbite engine, which had been built by DICE. And it was also used, of course, for FIFA, Madden, Star Wars, Battlefront titles, and so forth. So, dude, 2023... we just got the remastered version of Mass Effect, which is
your favorite.
It's still it's so disappointing. For me personally, like, okay, so it struck a chord with Nate because he has that nostalgia from the first time playing the game, and I couldn't get into it the first time, and I still couldn't get into it even with the remastered. It still wasn't up to date enough for where I was hoping it was going to be. I wanted a remake versus a remaster. If they would have remastered 2 and 3, dude, that was fine because 2 and 3 were solid. 1 sucks. I didn't like 1. I hated it and just couldn't get into it. It was clunky and I was hoping they would upgrade it.
It was the genesis of a whole series, though, right? So you can't exactly touch it too much if you were to redo. It's like if you wanted to redo Fable, can you do that? Yes. Or do you just have to remaster it and just up the graphics and that's it? That's where you leave it.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more because I didn't have that nostalgia because I skipped it the first time round. I was really hoping it was going to pull me in this time. And yeah, the story's incredible. I can't knock the story. I thought the story was fantastic, but the gameplay for me is what held me back, and I couldn't do it.
I think I played it when I was like 16, and I had no idea what I was getting into, and that story and the crazy aliens worlds and stuff.
So
it pulled me right in. It was exactly my kind of thing.
Yeah, Scott, we have some numbers here for the UK because apparently we don't do this in North America for some reason. But Minecraft for Switch takes number 1 in the UK box charts. Why?
Still,
dude, still. So I don't understand how it ranked up so high. I had the list and now I've lost it because I didn't. Well, crap. But. It is number 1, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still there. Animal Crossing is there as well. They had some highlights on there, but how is the fact that how does anybody not already own this game? How does it still keep going to number 1, man?
Yeah, I got it back in before 2008. I think I was playing it in the alpha.
Yeah,
and that was enough for me to get in and just kind of get over it and back out. But
sure.
I can't believe so many people are still buying it. It tops the charts so many times now, and I don't think it's changed incredibly much other than some updates and patches, I'm sure. Yeah, but it's basically they've resold the same piece of data millions, maybe a billion times now.
Maybe, right? Like Mojang is making a killing on this game as they just keep porting it here and porting it there, and it still makes number 1 on the charts. And this is physical. Dude, it's not even digital. This was a physical copy. I was like, wow, how? Last week was Aliens Fireteam Elite, which we reviewed on the show. So make sure you check that out, insidethegame.ca. But yeah, it was, I'm like, of course. Like, how can they not be there? GTA is probably there too. It was just crazy. But Scott, what games are coming out today, buddy?
We have, now this one's interesting to me, Chernobylite on PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. We've reviewed that one over on PC, if you are curious.
Yeah, now making his way to console, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to fit well there. But then we have Encased on PC.
Very cool.
This one is quite a curious title. Fist, which stands for Forged in Shadow Torch. And that's on PlayStation 4 and 5.
Dude, this game looks sick. It is a side scroller kind of beat 'em up, but it looks so cool. Okay. It kind of reminds me of, we just played Biomutant not too long ago on the show, and we checked that out. It was cool. It was a third person perspective, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of that flavor of game, but in a side scroller. And I'm definitely curious, would love to get into this game. Coming exclusive to PlayStation.
Oh no, that sounds like a really cool idea. Like the Biomutant made a splash, and if it's anything like that, that's a good association.
Absolutely.
Lastly, we have Sonic Colors Ultimate, and that's on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. I'm not familiar with this one exactly.
Okay, so this one's are you a big Sonic guy, Scott?
I certainly was.
Really? I was okay, so yeah. I was on the other side. I was Nintendo, and I didn't go with Sonic, and my cousins were the Sega, so they had Sonic, and we go down there and we play with their Sega, and dude, Sonic was cool, but he wasn't in my home console, so I wasn't playing it enough. And this one seems like it's a new game from what I'm understanding, but it's I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna pick that one up. I'm probably gonna pass. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, the thing that stands out to me with Sonic the most, and this is what I'll leave you with, but the worst part about living super faster than light, is that you always live in the dark.
Oh, that's so bad. Why did you have to do that?
Sonic means a lot to some people out there.
Yes, it does. Yeah, I think you just heard them all. Dude, are you going to watch the new movie? Because that one's coming too.
I am. I'm pretty salty from the first one. I wasn't super into that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it was good for certain reasons, but some scenes were painful.
For sure. But that's going to wrap up today's show. Everybody, thank you for hanging out with us. And of course, this has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us live over on twitch.tv/theofficialITG, as well as YouTube. But don't forget, if you can't join us live, hit us up later. InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, everybody, I'm Drew, that's Scott, and we'll see you inside the game.